Speaking in the Oval Office, Trump said the government would now resume normal operations after people were off so badly from the 43-day shutdown. Many government services have been suspended since October, and around 1.4 million federal employees have been on paid relief or working without pay. Food aid has also been left in limbo, and air travel has been disrupted nationwide. Government services are expected to reopen in the coming days, while disruption to air travel will likely ease ahead of the looming Thanksgiving holiday. The Federal Aviation Administration had reduced air traffic because of staff shortages owing to the shutdown.
They tried to extort, the Democrats tried to extort our country. In just a moment, I'll sign a bill exactly like we asked Democrats to send us all along, many days ago. This cost the country $1.5 trillion, this little excursion that they took us on. Republicans never wanted a shutdown and voted 15 times for a clean continuation of funding. There's never been a time when one or the other party ever didn't sign a continuation. It's just a continuation, not a big deal. It's a continuation, and we'll talk later. Yet the extremists in the other party insisted on creating the longest government shutdown in American history.
Derek Van Oden, a Wisconsin Republican, rode his motorcycle nearly 1,000 miles across the country to cast his vote in the House before it was sent to the president's desk. The bill only provides funding to keep the government open until 30 January, when lawmakers will once again need to find a way to fund the government. Before he signed it into law, Trump repeatedly cast blame for the shutdown on the Democratic Party, and they did it purely for political reasons. Senate Democrats were able to trigger the shutdown despite being a minority in the chamber because Republicans needed some Democrat votes to pass a temporary funding bill. They initially refused to support the bill, demanding that Republicans agree to extend health insurance subsidies for low-income Americans that are set to expire at the end of the year. Republicans maintained that a healthcare discussion could come after the government was reopened. But on Sunday, a group of 8 Senate Democrats broke from the party and helped pass the spending package. They voted for it in exchange for a promise of a vote on those healthcare subsidies in December. It led to a fury within the Democrat Party and public criticism from figures such as House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and California Governor Gavin Newsom. Senator Chuck Schumer, the minority leader in the chamber, said the package fails to do anything of substance to face Americans' healthcare crisis. Virginia Senator Tim Kaine was among the group of Democrats who voted in favor of the compromise. He pushed back on that criticism. Hours before the House voted to reopen the government, Democrats in Congress watched as their newest lawmaker was sworn into office.
Rise today in strong opposition to this woefully inadequate spending bill that fails to decisively address the Republican health care crisis and fails to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for tens of millions of Americans.
While the Democrats keep voting to shut their government down, Republicans are going to vote to open it back up. And with that, we're going to get the American government running again and working for the people as they deserve. I'm going to close with this. You know, as Speaker, you have the ability to talk as long as you want, but I'm not going to do that tonight. We're not going to waste any more time of the people.
The addition did not provide enough leverage to impact whether healthcare subsidies were included in the government funding bill, but Democrats welcomed Adelita Grijava into their ranks with applause on the floor of the chamber. The Democrat representative for Arizona was elected on 23rd September, but the House has not been in session since 19 September, delaying her swearing in. She is stepping into the seat once held by her father, Rahul Grijava, who died earlier this year. Democrats immediately traps their newest member to back a petition to force a vote on legislation requiring the release of files related to the late pedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein. The petition will need to sit for 7 legislative days before it can be called up for floor consideration, and then House leadership will be required to schedule a vote within 2 legislative days. House Speaker Mike Johnson surprised many on Wednesday and said he will schedule a vote for next week. The deal negotiated over the weekend extends funding for the federal government until January 30. It also includes full-year funding for the Department of Agriculture, as well as funding for military construction and legislative agency, guarantees that all federal workers will be paid for time during the shutdown, and funding for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which provides food aid to 1 in 8 Americans until next September, are also included in the bill. The package includes an agreement for a vote in December on extending the healthcare subsidies, which Democrats had been holding out for consensus. A thin grey banner promoting the U.S. Politics Expert newsletter. On the right, there is an image of the Capitol building against a background of vertical red, grey, and blue stripes. The banner reads, "The newsletter that caused you the noise." Sohe Osemege reporting for BTV News.